is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Yeah.
Love the new intro.
You know what? I'm giving you Jeremiah Sirles,
For
O-line
what?
committee crossover. You tried instigator fine for trying to troll us with the dog in the street intro.
Listen.
We did swap it out.
It had to happen. I mean, at one point, you have to look yourself in the mirror and go, this isn't working, and I should probably do something different. So hats off to you guys for being able to have some self-reflection and change something that might change the outcome of how things go here. Crazy thought.
Wow.
Crazy thought.
Wow.
The Kevin O'Connell quote might be next, by the way.
Which one?
I will ride with this team.
Oh.
That might be next to go.
Okay, this one, I have the audio of it. How ancient history does this feel right now?
I tell you guys I love you. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I will ride with this group until they don't let us play any more games.
I want to know, because if they do win a game against
that
the
23?
22.
22.
Right? Yeah,
22.
An ancient lifetime
23
ago.
didn't have a lot of great
Yeah.
chances.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into a bunch of different things here. It's an O-line committee crossover. Our guy Jeremiah Sirles, former Viking, 6-year NFL offensive lineman veteran, founding father of the O-line committee, which you can find on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. And a man who, on occasion, will drink a beer. Judd, do you have any beer you can recommend to the audience and Jeremiah?
I like
Absolutely, positively. And it's Padres beer. And Jeremiah, here's why. Padres makes beer that tastes like beer, and it's all they make. I mean, I'm not sure about you, but when I go to have a beer, I don't want to be inundated with 27 different types of drinks, beers that you're experimenting with. When it comes to Padres, we are talking about just, you know what? We're talking about offensive lineman type of beer. The Red Chimney, absolutely outstanding. It is hard to find a good red. Not at Padres. It's not. Their beer also available in more than 200 liquor stores in the Metro, Rochester, and Mankato. Check out their tap room at the Old Lando Nod Factory at the corner of Broadway and Central Avenues Northeast. You line up 5 Padres beers, Jay, and you're talking about an offensive line of beers.
Oh.
None of this, not this cute quarterback stuff. We're talking about running the
No
football.
seltzers on this show.
Exactly right. We're talking about running the football.
Well, speaking of, let's use that as our first topic here with Jeremiah. So this was we do our State of the Vikings Tuesday episodes on Purple Daily where we do, it's not good. During the season, there's the 2-hour event line where we immediately react to the game. And then there's the Monday hottest takes where we ratchet up the temperature even more after sleeping on it. But then Tuesday is like the deepest dive kind of dissection of the game and the state of the Vikings. And one thing that's become obvious, not only this year, but over the 4-year sample of Kevin O'Connell, this is one of the most passing extreme offenses and passing extreme head coaches and play callers in the NFL. Since KO took over in 2022, no NFC team has thrown the ball a higher percentage of plays. And that includes, by the way, this year with mostly rookie first-year quarterbacks doing this with JJ McCarthy and Max Brosmer. It's a top 5 pass percentage. And 2 years ago when Cousins got hurt and you had Dobbs, you had Jaron Hall and Nick Mullins, they were 3rd in passing percentage of plays. So my question to you is, to what extent does running the ball matter if you want to win a bunch of games, which they have done over 4 years? And are they missing out on something by being such a passing extreme offense?
The easy answer is yes. Right. That's the easy no-brainer answer is yes. But, you and I kind of talked about this earlier. Well, why is the answer yes? And I went back and I looked, okay, how did the Eagles win the Super Bowl last year? Oh, they ran the piss out of the football with Saquon Barkley. How did the Chiefs get there a couple years before? Oh, they converted their run game with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt and found ways to be consistent in running the football. And as you get, oh, bye, Mac. And as you
he's gotten a mic. Speaking of running the football effectively, microphone little issue there.
I'm going to go ahead and ding him.
Ding him? Oh, we done.
Yeah,
I might have helped. I might have.
No,
just
he's
forced
getting
Phil's
dinged.
on.
I think my mic was like crackling, so
that's SFR.
Now it
Is it
sounds.
still?
Now I think it's better. When you were talking, it was just like popping and
I
overlapping
just thought
a little bit.
I just thought it was your voice. But as you just continue to go on my thought here, I'm a professional. I don't get distracted. When you look at what wins games in November, what wins games in December, and then specifically as you get into January, it's clock control. It's controlling the tempo of the football game. You get to dictate the tempo. You're not playing shootouts, because the last thing you want to do is you can play shootouts in the regular season on a week in, week out basis, because you're not playing the best of the best every single week. If you want to go, hey, we need to win 4 here to get to the Super Bowl, the chances of you winning a shootout 4 games in a row are not super high. And so you have to go into those games going, hey, if we're playing against Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, pick one of the top tier quarterbacks you're going to face in the playoffs, not just from an NFC perspective, from a whole. You want to go, I got to keep that dude off the field. Right? If I can keep that dude off the field, and I can go and I can control the clock and I can get first downs and stay on the field here, I can dictate the tempo of this football game. When you don't have that in your bag and you don't have that as a weapon, you're really missing out on an entire piece of offense that is not sexy and it's not cool and it's not fun, and people can say it's boring, but gosh, boring is effective, and effective wins Super Bowls. And so when you look at the Kevin O'Connell offense and go, okay, yes, we get it, Kevin. Your whiteboard is amazing. We understand you're a genius with scouts, with reps and coverages and option routes and all these things.
Deep crossers.
It's super fun and it's super cool, and I feel like I'm playing Madden, but when you can't run the football and teams know that, then they can just sit back there and go, hey, keep throwing it. Eventually the quarterback's going to make a mistake when he's not a veteran 7-year-plus quarterback.
Yeah.
All right. So if we were to rewind the clock, Jay, and we were to go back in time to the beginning of this season,
Yes.
and you were in the building, and you got a feel for, especially McCarthy, okay, what he was prepared to do, probably more importantly, what he was not prepared to do. As someone who played the game and has been in the meetings and the building, what would you have done? I feel like we've dumped on O'Connell a lot. I feel like he deserves it. I do feel like he has dialed things back at times. But if you were just to start from week 1 again and sort of accept what you had, what should he have done? What would you have liked to seen? Because, I mean, McCarthy's not without fault, just to be clear here. So, what would have been the happy medium of trying to get the most success possible?
I would have started with what I heard from Wes Phillips in his press conference yesterday. Simplify. Right? Simplify. Why go into week 1 with a complexity offense that you think your quarterback can run based off what you've seen in training camp, but you have no tangible evidence whatsoever what he can do on a real Sunday, on a real, not a preseason, not a under the lights camp practice, a real Sunday where that jersey is the same color as everybody else, and those dudes on the other side want to rip your teeth out one by one. Then we can go from there. I feel like through practices and through OTAs and through training camp, Kevin O'Connell and this whole staff kind of forgot about that. They forgot about the fact that he'd never done it. He had never stepped foot on a Sunday out on a real field in a real game and done it and proven to him that they can operate this complex offense when there's real bullets flying. And there's not, oh, hey, timeout, get everyone lined back up, back in the huddle, run it again. Those are controlled environments. There's no such thing as a controlled environment on Sunday. And so I would have liked to rewind back to week 1 and say, hey, I know we installed everything in training camp, because that's what you always do. You install everything in training camp. You put it all on tape. You see how it all looks, and then you slice and you dice it away till you get to the game plan. I would have loved to hear the word simplify out of his mouth in September. And I would have loved to start with simplicity and start with running the football and going, hey, JJ McCarthy, we think you can throw it all over the yard. Training camp, hey, Judd tracked every single one of your throws. It was great. It was awesome. Right? Instigator.
I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again.
Sensitive. But I'll just continue to go there as we go. But, and then go from there and say, hey, instead of throwing you to the wolves and putting you in positions that I think you can succeed in, but I don't know what the fail rate's going to look like, continuing to build in more high success plays. Hey, handing the football off, bootlegs, play actions, short crossers, those type of things. And as I say that, it's just one of those things where we saw some of that, but so much right out of the gate was 500, YOLO, go deep, let it roll. And then I feel once you started on that train and on that wagon, it was really hard for him to actually rein everything back in. And then JJ gets hurt. Then you go with Carson Wentz and you feel like you can open up even more. And now you're in the meat of your season. And before, as the snowball started, it rolled downhill really fast. And I feel like they're finally starting to try and trim back what the snowball is, but it might be too little too late in my opinion.
Let me ask you this, because we just did yesterday. We posted another Chicago Bears film breakdown on the O-Line Committee YouTube channel, and they are a machine right now. The Chicago Bears offense with a second-year starting quarterback who has a lot more games under his belt and it was widely regarded as having just a higher ceiling and athletic ability. I will grant you all those things. But this is the highest-ranked Chicago Bears offense in terms of yardage since 1983 was the last time they were sixth or higher in scoring offense. So the Bears have gone from dead last in yardage offense a year ago to sixth. And I'm wondering, because it's not apples to apples, the Viking situation with McCarthy and he just hasn't played as many games, whatever. But the Vikings are dead last in almost every measurable quarterback and passing game statistics. So you've got one offense that literally can't score a point right now, and the other one that's going on the road, taking their running game into Philadelphia. They've got a bunch of 200-yard running games. The gap between where the Bears are offensively right now and the Vikings, how much of it, Jeremiah, is the quarterback, the scheme, or other personnel? It's probably a combination, but what's the difference?
If I'm ranking it, it goes scheme, quarterback, personnel. Right, that's the way I rank it. Because if you look at it, what did Detroit do last year, and what did Ben Johnson do with Detroit and Dan Campbell? They built it from the inside out and said, hey, tip of the spear, the Jim Harbaugh, right? Tip of the spear is the offensive line. So what's Ben Johnson's first move in free agency? Brand new center, brand new left guard, brand new right guard. Get our top 10 pick tackle looking like Penei Sewell, draft a tackle at left tackle in the top 2 rounds, and build from there and build on the running game. Because he watched the tape of Caleb Williams, and heck, they game planned against Caleb Williams and go, hey, if we just drop this dude back 100 times, we're just going to keep sacking him. He took like 68 sacks last year, I think, which was just crazy. And so, okay, how do we build him up with success? Well, we don't ask him to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So we're going to build a running game around him. And we're going to say, hey, we paid all you boys up front. Let's lean on you. Right, and we're going to bring Monungai in, and we're going to bring Swift in, and we're going to say, hey, we're going to go and we're going to run the football, and if you want to block on the outside, then you'll get the football. No block, no rock, right? And so you're seeing Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Zacchaeus, Colson Loveland go block safeties because you don't get explosive run plays without down the field blocking. Well, guess what? When those dudes are physical on the edge and they're pounding on those safeties and they're push cracking, here comes the play action bootleg. That safety spends 1 second too long with his eyes in the backfield. There's the explosive play. And so the scheme, everything is built and modeled around the run game, which then leads to the explosive pass game. It's not, if you watch the Bears, it's not this crazy, elaborate, explosive pass game scheme. It's all predicated off the run. So then you go to quarterback play. Okay, well, if we saw what Caleb Williams did in the first year and that didn't work and he wasn't ready, he was not anticipating throws, a lot of the things we saw with JJ this year, we saw with Caleb Williams last year, which is natural with any quarterback and any natural young player of just the game is just way too fast than they've ever seen before. And so then natural disaster things happen. Okay, so then the quarterback play has gotten better because you've asked him to do less. And then you've now asked him to do less and then use his athletic ability to give you those splash plays that you need of the whirly derbs and turn and run and throw it on a rope when you're running to the sideline, which is what makes him great and athletically really, really special. So then you go to the last part, the personnel. I said it last week yesterday on O-Line Committee. You guys laughed at me. I honestly do believe the Chicago Bears weapons this year are almost better than Detroit's weapons Ben Johnson had last year. And you guys might think I'm crazy, but the depth of that piece, when you put all of those 3 things together, it's why you go hire Ben Johnson. It's why you go do all these things. And it's why you look at what wins football games in the NFL right now. Being able to run the ball consistently is the number one hardest thing for defenses to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think because I was not critical of the Ben Johnson hire, but skeptical of like the hype and it's like, okay, you got to hire him if you're the Bears. You're looking for offense for the first time in 40 years. It's like, can we pump the brakes a little bit? Cool. He draws up fun trick plays, and that was kind of my A, I was wrong. And B, what I didn't give enough emphasis toward was what you just said, which is Ben Johnson. You might think of him as he's the trick play, go for it on 4th down guy along with Dan Campbell. No, he's the pound the run through your soul guy with both Detroit and Chicago, and then build big passing plays off of play action. And I mean, as you guys, like I sit and watch you guys break down film of his Lions offenses and of his Bears offenses, and I learned so much. They run like the same type of look maybe 12 or 15 times in the running game, with things built out for if it's a play action. Oh, by the way, that guy that would be blocking on this, boom, he slips a block and comes out the back door wide open. Like, these aren't long developing, you got to throw a dot between a safety and a linebacker passing plays. It's scheming tight ends and receivers wide open off of the running game. And so I have a ton of respect for what Ben Johnson's done as a coordinator and as a head coach now after kind of diving in more to the details.
It's also kind of scary to think about what if Ben Johnson can get the most out of Caleb Williams, right? Because you see the what he can be, and so it's a little bit of a scaring feeling. If you're a Vikings fan and you're watching what's happening in Chicago and you're going, "Oh my God, is Ben Johnson really going to unlock what everyone thought Caleb Williams could be?" And now he's got Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, Colson Loveland, and they'll build on the defense. And then you look on the Vikings side and go, what shows me that we're on that same path? Like, what as a Vikings fan am I looking at this Vikings team going, you have the largest cash roster on the NFL. You've got a rookie scale quarterback that we still have no idea if he's the promise or if he's going to be a bust. And it's not really but everyone's either one camp or the other. No one's like, oh, he's going to be okay. Right? Everyone's like, he's going to be great. Give him time or throw him to the wolves. He's trash. Tough place to be as a Vikings fan when you're looking at going, how did we get vaulted by maybe the worst team in the NFL last year, arguably, so quickly with the roster that we built? But it also goes back, if the scheme and the quarterback don't marry, the personnel really doesn't matter. And that's where everyone you're seeing with Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson and all these weapons, everyone's like, well, why do they suck all of a sudden? It's like, do they? Like, do you really think they all just suck all of a sudden? Like, they took this offseason off, they went to Cabo, jerked around and said, like, no, I'm not going to take it serious. Right. There's a missing piece there, and a lot of it is scheme and quarterback dependent.
And Jefferson is, to me, Exhibit A. I mean, he's absolutely fine. He's still a superstar. You're not using him correctly. But this, okay, so what happened in Chicago, though, gets back to what I think is the most interesting thing, or one of them, about the Vikings. And it's this. Is it, if you were to consult the Vikings, if they were to call you today and just ask you this question, do you think that JJ McCarthy, first of all, how much do you think he has been damaged by this? Because I feel like they skipped steps. But also, do you think that Kevin O'Connell and JJ McCarthy can work? Or do you think that the Vikings should go get a veteran quarterback again? Because quite frankly, I said this yesterday. I'm sort of done with O'Connell and young QBs after what I saw on Sunday with Brosmer. Like, some of that was ridiculous. Like, this guy is a UDFA. You can say he's the smartest guy in forever, but
the hype train was real.
His brain's like a computer.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
sure.
Unbelievable. But I love Brosmer. But where would you stand on that question? Do you think in 2026, if we run it back, do you think it can work, or is Kevin O'Connell incapable of being patient enough? Because Ben Johnson's doing some really good things. Namely, he's running the football. Kevin doesn't like to run the football.
Yeah, and I mean, I said that early before the season began, and we talked about it on a line committee, like, well, this team's going to have to run. I was like, listen, the Tiger doesn't change his stripes. It just doesn't happen. And Kevin just refuses to do it, and that's okay. That's part of his DNA. To your question, I've wrestled with this myself, and I really wish that JJ didn't miss last week, and I really wish that I could have seen him against that Seattle defense, and I would want to see him the rest of the way. Because I want to see if there's any type of big jump here at the back end of the year. Because I think back to guys like Bryce Young, and I think back to, even Caleb Williams towards the end of last year and Drake May towards the end of last year. It wasn't pretty, but it was better. And there was a little bit of that, like, okay, this is going to work. And then you look and see what Drake May has started and been able to do this year and what Bo Nix was able to do on the last few weeks of his run last year. And so I wanted to see if there was any of that with JJ McCarthy before I make that decision. But if it's a train wreck the rest of the way, and you drop a game to the Commanders and you drop a game to the Giants, and something like that happens, then at one point in time, similar to you guys with the intro, if you're going to throw the same thing out there and expect a different result, what's the point of this? And you're going to have receivers, superstar receivers that are already slightly on edge. First time ever he didn't talk to the press after the game, right? Like eventually the humbleness and the great teammate-ness of these guys will boil over, and I will throw you in front of a bus faster than I'll throw myself in the bus. Right. If I'm, hey, JJ, what's going on, man? Like, your numbers are down. You're not. It's like, have you seen who's done these football? I've got a child back there that can't throw me the football. What do you expect? And that's when things can really start to chasm. It's hard for me to say. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I'm still in the camp of I just don't know.
What's your sense about the patience, though? Because my whole thing is, and I keep saying this, I don't think the Wilfs can stomach this. Like from covering them, and you played for them.
Yeah.
I don't think they can stomach this, and I don't think that they can stomach the thought of you very well might have some of these same problems next season. As you know, they want to win now, and they want to get in the playoffs. That's always been what I've been told.
Oh, for sure.
Get in the tournament, and you can win the Super Bowl. Misguided, maybe, but that's their goal. So what is your opinion about what's the appetite in that building to bring back McCarthy, start him again, and risk it not working?
I feel like you don't really have a choice for next year, in my opinion, based off of how you structured your cap. Because you went with the cap plan of rookie scale quarterback for the next 3 years. And you loaded everyone's roster. I mean, I'm looking at cap hits for next year, and it's like 21, 26, 24, 26. And you're like, okay, well, where is the money in here to go buy that veteran quarterback like you're talking about, Judd? It's just not there. And so if I'm the Wilfs, I pretty much call in Kwesi and I call in Kevin O'Connell and be like, you made the bet, deal with it. And show me that you can do it. And if you can't, then your jobs are on the line as well. And so that's probably where you have to look at it from that perspective, because I don't see a world in which you can go out and, sure, maybe you can trade for a Mac Jones, but is that really what you want to do? Is that the idea? And that's the conversation that the Wilfs are going to have is this a trade for Mac Jones and try and win right now? Or are we actually trying to build what we said we were going to build the day we drafted JJ McCarthy? Yeah. And the patience factor then goes down to, what are the Wilfs' long-term goals versus the win now or win it all long-term? And I don't have a great answer for that.
Yeah, to kind of build off that point, you've got, and to bring the Jefferson thing in, your highest paid player is Justin Jefferson, who you are barely utilizing right now. So you've got the asset that you have decided financially, we are going to put the most chips in that on that table. You're not really using him right now, so that's like a wasted asset.
I'm benching him in fantasy football, which is a crazy thing to say. I am benching him in JJ. He's gotten like 7 points. Like
I know.
He was a first-round draft pick, and he's on my bench.
It's the fantasy playoffs coming up too, man. We got to figure this out. So you've got this asset that you are pumping a ton of money into that you are underutilizing. You have a head coach, play caller who really has shown with a chance to maybe adapt, has shown. I've got a YOLO passing game. It's what won me 13 games in year one. It won me 14 games with Sam Darnold last year. And I call the plays that I call. This is my system. And you have an ownership group that hates losing, hates being irrelevant, lacks patience in good and bad ways. So if you got all these factors, it's imperative that you have a quarterback that can step in and perform at a much higher level immediately in 2026 than you've had this year. So, okay, with that in mind, how confident are you that McCarthy can be that guy? Okay, dude, we need a much, much higher level of performance. Right now, the confidence level is almost zero on that until we see more sample size, right? But you've got these cap issues, so even if you wanted to trade for like a Kyler Murray or a Tua and buy low on one of those guys, that creates all sorts of cap hell that you were in with Kirk Cousins a while ago. So your options become pretty narrow. Mac Jones is one of them because he's got one more year left. If he plays well, you'd have to extend him at some number that's well over $30 million. Probably.
You might have to extend him before you trade for him.
That could be part of
that's
demand.
usually part of the agent demand is before you get the trade done, I want a long-term deal done with him, and he's going to command Sam Darnold money.
Yeah,
he is. He's going to command $30 million a year.
And by the way, on this note too, let's say so Daniel Jones is potentially a free agent. The Colts could franchise him, but that's a big number, around $50 million. We'll see. If he gets franchised, he's a Colt, I think. Yep. I don't think anyone's given up first-round picks. But if he's not franchised, the number is still like 35 or 40 million a year on him, and now you're back in a similar bin. So that's why I've brought up Aaron Rodgers. I think your options
Stop.
are really. I'm just saying.
Stop. I can't hit the bell enough.
What's
dude.
that
Stop
fine
with the
for?
Aaron Rodgers stuff.
That's not even a legal
That's
O-line
an
committee fine.
That's an SFR's fine. Stupid.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much I can cuss on this show. Stupid effing rookie, right? Like, stop with the Aaron Rodgers nonsense. I will
giving you
take.
the
Where's my
options.
helmet? If Aaron Rodgers wears that helmet right there, I'm gonna drive to Minnesota and throw it at you. I can't, dude.
It's not my fault if that happens.
I can't. No, it is because you keep putting it out into the world,
A
man.
lot of fans, a lot of our comments are also saying the exact same thing that Jeremiah is
you.
saying to Phil. That Phil, please stop talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, listen, don't kill the messenger. I'm giving you
I'm
their
with you.
options.
I would
their
rather have
narrow
Carson
list of
Wentz
options.
back than Aaron Rodgers.
His arm being shot helps.
Carson Wentz or Aaron Rodgers?
Well, both of them. But in Rodgers' case, his arm is shot enough that I don't think he can drive the ball down the field.
So it's
like
Mac
KO
Jones.
wants.
Mac Jones is going to be the Viking. I mean, has the
That's
writing ever been more on the wall? And
that is the
I
issue.
agree.
The pool is not deep.
No.
Right? The pool is not deep. The draft class is terrible. Right? And I mean, unless you think you can go trade and fix Shadur Sanders, or go pick one of those young quarterbacks up that are still out there, or I mean, Anthony, like you brought up Anthony Richardson, but even that doesn't fit the skill set. And anyone that can run this offense is not going to walk out of someone else's building. And I truly believe that if you have a quarterback that can run the type of offense Kevin O'Connell wants to run, he's not walking out of someone else's organization.
unless it's Mac Jones and they already have a guy. Like, that's a unique circumstance.
Yes.
Wait. As far as I'm concerned, though, like, let's not talk about the draft. Unless you are giving me a pro, ready-made, best quarterback, generational talent, I'm not drafting this guy a quarterback again. Like he doesn't have the patience. Like, McCarthy might suck. At the end of the day, he might be terrible, okay? But what we're seeing, like, I'm telling you, the Brosmer experience is very instructive. He is bound and determined to give you the entire playbook, install it all, like you said, Jeremiah, and then you go to work. He will ruin this is very important.
To
He's
that
a
Brosmer
quarterback
point,
whisperer with a veteran guy. That's it.
the first 23 plays of that game on Sunday, you're in Seattle, you're on the road, it's December, you have an undrafted rookie free agent quarterback, and the left side of your offensive line is hurt. And they called 17 dropbacks in the first 23 plays. That's wild. Is that not crazy?
You and I, and I've heard you talk about the third and shorts and stuff like that. And the first third and short we have, we throw that pass. And I text you, I was like, I feel like you can't make this crap up. Like, it's almost to the point now where you're like, is he just doing this on purpose? Like, I really don't understand the idea there. And it also goes back to that. I don't know why he believes what he sees in practice in week 13 is going to translate to the game on Sunday. There are no full speed reps in practice in week 13. No one is running full speed because everyone is broken and they're all just waiting to get to Saturday night, get their vitamin T shot and roll into Sunday morning. Like, that's how this time of the year goes, man. You can't think what you see in practice is what's going to happen in the game. And so when you put the young kid out there with Brosmer and you just ask him to start slinging it all over the yard, I don't really know what he thought was going to happen. And then obviously Greg Olson's talking before the game like there's some people in the building that think that this guy is like more prepared and more. I'm like, why would you say that about him? You're just setting him up for failure. I'd rather you be like, hey, we're really concerned about how this is going to go, rather than go the other way. Like, just be honest. Be like, hey, this is it's his first road start, first time in the NFL. We're not sure what this is going to look like, instead of just pumping the hype train.
Here's one of the reasons why, Jeremiah, I don't know that you can bring McCarthy back, though, as your starter. It's Jefferson.
Yeah.
How do you sell
sure.
him? Because, I mean, he's a good sport, man. He doesn't talk publicly. The fact that he walked out on Sunday and didn't spoke volumes, probably more than if he had said, let's get our effing quarterback act together. But all of that being said, you know that he's in O'Connell's office. He probably called the Wilfs. I mean, he's got more power than so. How do you justify that? Like how do you say, well, Justin, we're up against the cap and we think he might be okay? Like, literally, you have taken a career. Your careers aren't long, and you have taken a career of a Hall of Fame receiver. You've put it in the toilet and you've hit the flush.
And that's the thing is when you pay guys like that, you give them power. You give them power in the organization, and rightfully so. I mean, just like in Buffalo when they had Josh Allen in the draft room and they're like, hey, we're thinking about taking this guy. What do you think? Face of the franchise, keys of the car. you do that with a guy like Jefferson, and it's so hard because you don't know publicly what Jefferson thinks about JJ. Like, is there something going on where he's like, man, I think JJ's close and I see it in practice and the cork's about to pop or whatever it might be. But I really do believe that if Jefferson walks into his exit meeting and goes, hey, I love it here. Y'all paid me a bunch of money. If JJ's the starting quarterback and you don't bring in someone here, I'm not coming to OTAs. I'll see you in the season. I'll come, I'll do my job, but I'm not coming to OTAs. I'll be here for camp, and then maybe if that doesn't go well, the trade request rumors might leak from my camp, right? Just be honest with them, and those things are not unwarranted. If I'm JJ McCarthy, if I'm Justin Jefferson, and I know that I have a terrible year where I'm not even make the Pro Bowl. I might make the Pro Bowl strictly because my name's Justin Jefferson, and that's a popularity contest more than it is a numbers-based thing now. But you're talking about a guy that was All-Pro, Pro Bowl to people are now asking if he's washed. Like, that stuff can't happen, and it shouldn't allow. And him and his camp should not allow that to happen. And they should go in there and say, okay, what's the plan? What are we thinking? Or else I'm gonna be upset.
Can we do some bonus dumb football questions, some crossover dumb football questions here?
Always.
Jeremiah. Okay. I got one. There's one that I'd love to bring up from a commenter here too. After we shout out. Let's start with Underdog here, Dex. Good place to have some fun watching football.
That's right. Sign up with promo code SCORE and play your first $5, $100 in bonus entries, riding higher or lower on so many different things. It was Feast Week last week in the Underdog lobby with it being a Turkey Day and Thanksgiving. But you can still get with your notifications on boosts and tokens and things in your lobby, plus breaking news. Sometimes they beat Twitter to me when it comes to breaking news. It's crazy. So sign up at promo code SCORE at Underdog and get into the fun action on the pick'em side, higher or lower on so many different things.
Also, Roku is the official TV of Purple Daily here, the official sports watching TV. And Roku makes it so easy in a day and age now where with all the different leagues have different partnerships with 9 different networks and streaming platforms. And you got college bowl season coming up. And sometimes it's hard to figure out what platform or channel is a game on. And Roku, for sports fans, they have a sports-specific section on their home page or their menu that guides you to the games, the leagues, the teams, if you want, that are your favorites to watch. And this time of year, it's great. It recommends based on your viewing habits, too. So it knows that, hello, Mr. Mackey, here is the football game tonight. Here is the basketball game tonight. Oh, and here is the Christmas Jazz U-Log channel for background music. It's just recommending things all throughout the day. Better TV for everyone with Roku, America's #1 streaming platform. Go to Roku.com to learn more or shop at a retailer near you. Okay, dumb football question number 1 from Xavier Whitcraft on YouTube.
Cool whip.
This one came in a few weeks ago. You can't have dumb football questions without Whitcraft. Says, what really is the difference between left guard, left tackle, right guard, right tackle? They seem to fill the same role, but what makes it hard to switch between being a tackle and a guard and from left to right?
Yeah, I'll start with the left to right. I mean, if you've done something on one side of the ball for, say, your entire college career or a majority part of your NFL career, muscle memory is a real thing, right? Muscle memory of how I strike, how I move, how I set, like, it's a very real thing, and you want that to be a big piece of your game because you don't want every single play to be thinking about, okay, load my left leg, throw my right hand. Like, that has to just become natural because the dude across from you that you're fighting is reacting to you and you're reacting to them. You don't have time to be thinking about mechanically what you're doing as also trying to fight Myles Garrett. Anyone, pick one of the monsters, Dexter Lawrence, whatever it might be. You don't have time to be thinking so much about yourself that you're worried about them. And so when you all of a sudden flip sides, right, I always tell people, I use the analogy of like, hey, if I go from right guard to left guard, yeah, it's the same stuff, but it's the idea of like when I get done taking a poop, I wipe with my offhand. Like you have to think about that. And then you have to mechanically go, how does that make sense? Like, how do I get through this? Like it seems so simple. But when I had to do it when I had shoulder surgery, and it's a disaster. Like it's
wipe with your other
wipe with your offhand. Next time you go to the bathroom, just like don't even think about it. Just grab with your offhand and be like.
Do you ever have walk-offs where you've been eating clean for a few days and you're like, I think that's a walk-off.
Not often. Nah, I mean, it got to the point when I had shoulder surgery, I just got in the shower because I was like, I can't do this.
I have takes. I have takes in this really quickly. Trevor Plouffe, our guy, went on a whole rant on talking baseball this week because he was in Japan, and I've been team on this for years. Team bidet. I've had bidets in every bathroom that I own. It is a life-changing experience. You are a caveman when you have to do that now outside your house. It's already uncomfortable to do that. Bidets. Team bidets. We are as an American society, we have gone backwards with toilets.
Why have we not?
Let's get a
normalized
bidet sponsor. Let's get a bidet sponsor.
I will
and
love that.
let's get all over that because I'm here for that. But yeah, so back to your point.
Sorry.
So like
Chafing's a problem.
chafing's a huge problem too. A little Gold Bond
I
helps.
hate chafing. That skin's not like your normal skin. That's all I gotta say.
No, it's like, don't worry, Mackie. You'll figure it out.
It's more sensitive.
It's super sensitive, right? Little baby pad, little Gold Bond, little
Yeah.
bidet action. Call it a night, right? So you flip sides back and forth, and so that it just muscle memory. Then it goes from like mentally, you know how to do all of those things, but then as you're on the left side, you're like, hey, that play call that I've heard 1,000 times, which meant set with my and step with my right foot, now means step with my left foot. And so you're thinking about that from a mechanic standpoint, and it makes you half a step slower, and you have to then retrain a lot of your body mechanically, and it just takes time to readjust and readapt to, right? And so that's the switching from right to left. Now, switching from guard to tackle, in my opinion, is actually much harder because it's a timing issue, right? It's a timing thing. At tackle, you have time and space and distance, and you get time to read what he's doing, and he reads what you're doing. You can change, and you can eat up that distance, and you can move different ways. You move inside, those dudes are right there, and everything's happening so much faster. Contact's quicker. You're throwing your hands faster. The stunts, the movements, the linebackers come into play a whole lot more. It's a timing issue, and when you have to speed up timing and you're used to, if you're playing tackle and you're used to taking this big kick set and pushing yourself back and creating that space to all of a sudden it's a 6-inch step and that dude's right there in your teeth, that timing takes reps and reps and reps to get time with. And so when you're, especially then you go into center, I can remember one of the first times I ever played center in a game, I wanted to like push the nose guard away from me and be like, dude, back up. Like, you're right here. Like, I can like, because you have the ball. And so that neutral zone is nothing. And so everything even speeds up more and more in that respect. So it's just a timing and a feel thing. And the more you can stay on one spot and one do, you can hone those skills. And when you move it over, you don't lose those skills. You just basically have to retrain the muscle memory in your brain to be able to high levelly function at that ability.
Yeah, I love that. It's
Not that hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
I mean, this sounds pretty simple.
Not that big deal. I mean, it's why guys like Blake Brandel and guys like myself stayed in the league as long as we did. I trained myself to play all five, right? It wasn't easy, and it's why I was never great at all five of them, but I was serviceable at all five. And as a backup in this league, if you can do that, you're very valuable because it's hard. A lot of guys can't. I can't tell you how many guys I played with. They're like, dude, I cannot go on the left side. Like, I physically it just doesn't work in my body. It's like, okay, you're a right side only player. Well, if you're not a starter or an immediate two deep, you're probably off the team, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's a give and take to both those things. Either be great and leave a guy there, let him grow, be great, or you have to be versatile, and then that's a hard thing to do.
What was the hardest one? So of all the positions, was there one in particular?
Left tackle.
Okay.
And left tackle is a different beast. It's a totally different ball game because the defense knows it. That's the quarterback's blind side. It's usually their best defensive rusher. It's usually where they try and scheme things to blitz and come off that edge. And, you know, it's just every single play you're going against arguably the best player on their defense.
Mm-hmm. I have a follow-up dumb question that kind of broadens this out. And I thought you did a really good job on O-line committee this week explaining that, because I was saying, okay, for young players, like for McCarthy, for example, as a quarterback, but this could apply to any position, you have to balance being patient. Like these guys aren't walking in the league usually and just like, boom, you pick up everything, pre-snap, post-snap, speed, everything. So you got to be patient, but also the league moves fast. Mm-hmm. Year 2, year 3 of a contract, we're not going to wait 10 years for you. And you demonstrated, for example, like an offensive lineman coming into the league and what they might have had in their head and what they're supposed to look at in college versus NFL, and the gap between even just like the language to identify what's happening. So my dumb football question is, can you contextualize for our non-NFL playing audience some of the things that might be going through a young player's head walking up to the line of scrimmage as a first or second year player, and what that processing is like versus a guy who's been in the league for 7 or 10 years.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's night and day. And I think Mitch Morris said it beautifully when we had him on the line committee. He goes, by the time your brain actually understands football to the highest level, very rarely can your body do it anymore, unless you're incredibly special. And so if you're a young player at any position, you come from college where you were probably the best player, or one of the best players on your team, probably in your conference, and arguably one of the best players in college football, if you're being an immediate day one starter. And so you're used to beating people up physically, and you're used to walking up to the line of scrimmage and knowing what was going on. And you get into the NFL, and the first thing they do is slap down this giant playbook in front of you and go, you got to know all of it, right? Because one thing we're going to install here in week 1 of OTAs might be something we don't play again, and we'll check to in week 14, and we're going to need to have it. And so the first thing is the mental aspect of it. You understand that week by week, the game plan changes. It's not like when you're at Michigan and you're like, we're just going to steamroll over everyone. It doesn't really matter who's in front of us or what scheme they run. We're going to do what we do. It doesn't work like that in the NFL. You have to game plan every single week. And so mentally, you're trying to catch up and understand checks and kills and formations. And there's 10 or 15 different snap counts. Like, I don't think people understand that. Like green, gold, black, brown, like all those colors mean something. And so you have to understand all the snap counts and on the quick and on the delta and on the Rambo or whatever it might be. So then you're learning all of that piece there from the snap counts perspective. And that's before we've even installed a play, right? That's before that's like how we get in the huddle and all those things. And then you get into the play calling, and college play calling is so simple. I can remember for me, I didn't have to understand formations. I didn't have to understand who the mic of the defense was. I just looked to the sideline and they would go, hey, 2 lock. And I was like, okay, we're running inside zone to the right and they're locking the backside tight end. Sweet, right? That's all that mattered. And now you have to go, hey, we have to know what the formation is, what the personnel grouping is. We have to be able to identify the mic. We have to identify who's the nickel. And you're going, okay, well, why does that matter? It's like, well, this is a track play, so we're going to identify just tracks and we're just go to people. Or this is a man identified play, so we have to know, we have to go which linebacker and safety, who's involved in the count, who's not involved in the count. And you're just kind of like, wow, okay, sounds.
And the play clock is at
right.
9, 8,
and
7.
this is all like, okay, this is cool. And then you get out to training camp, and like, oh yeah, by the way, that's Grenard. He was an all-pro last year, and you're going to have to block him if you want to play in this league. And so then physically, you're getting your teeth kicked in because you've never seen speed like that before. Mentally, you're doing all kinds of gymnastics trying to get everything put back together there. And ultimately, you play slow, right? When you don't feel confident because you're not 100% confident in what you're doing and how you're going to do it, you're going to not play like, I think this is what I'm doing. I'm not sure. And you play slow in the NFL and that guy's playing fast, you're dead. And so all of that stuff is really hard. And again, it's not an excuse because everyone has to go through it. But to your point, Mackie, the league rolls on. And if you show me in year 1, 2, and 3 that you can't do that, I'm leaving you behind and finding someone else that will. And unfortunately, with the quarterback position, all of that is magnified by 100. All of that from a processing speed is times 1,000 because every coordinator knows you're young. Every defensive linebacker who's been in this league for a long time knows you're young, and they're going to mess with you. And so you see that, and it's why young quarterbacks really struggle early on. And it's why some of them tank and never make it out, and it's why some of them eventually claw their way back and go, okay, it took Sam Darnold 6 years, but he figured it out. It took Baker Mayfield a long time, but he figured it out. The question then becomes for Vikings fans, are we willing to wait that long?
You know what I'd rather do at this point? I'm kind of like full circle where even if I do believe that there's a future for McCarthy, the league has kind of come around so much with like that lack of patience. Why not? Maybe he failed here for now, and he can go somewhere else for like 4 years, and then we can grab him for a discount on the back end when he's 26 years old. Just like Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and Daniel Jones. That might be the play, actually.
It's a hard place to be as an organization because you want to draft the young quarterback and you want the rookie scale contract and we can build around him, whatever it might be. But the rookies just aren't ready to play. It's just not. Like Jaden Daniels was great and he was amazing last year, and then he tried to run and coordinators knew he was going to run this year. So what'd they do? They broke him, right? Hey, if Jaden runs this year, hit him as hard as humanly possible. Like everyone's going to continue to get better. And so it's just a matter of those things. The patience level for the quarterback position has never been lower. And unfortunately, development is not linear. It doesn't just climb and go like this and straight up. Like, it's ups and downs. But unfortunately for JJ McCarthy right now, it's been way more downs than ups.
Hey, I got one more because unfortunately, also the quarterback discussions have led to like that's it. We're talking quarterback. But there's other things here, and I got a question for you, Christian Darrisaw. What's your take on this entire thing? Because I feel like he has spoken a couple of times and defended himself. Said I was back a month before I was supposed to be back. I am playing, but the knee's not great. Do you think he got thrown to the wolves here? This kid was out there in the spring, or this guy was out there in the spring. For a star left tackle, I just think it's a very interesting and probably under-discussed storyline about his season as a whole, what he was coming off of, and what the ask was for him to play very quickly.
Yeah, and I think I've read quite a few things like, hey, what's wrong with Christian Darrisaw?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why isn't it? And it goes back to people have to understand when you have a season-ending injury like that, it throws everything off. Right, your whole offseason is no longer what a normal offseason is. So much of what January, February, and March is not about. It's not college, it's bigger, faster, stronger, protein, right? It's about getting your body back, right? Because when you're performing at the highest level, like Christian Darrisaw is, he doesn't have to just get in the weight room and live in the weight room and get so much stronger. It's about getting my body back to baseline. Hey, I know here it's about maintaining, it's about lifting, it's about running and doing what I've done in my routine for years and years and years. You throw a season-ending injury in there, and now it's all rehab in the offseason. Other parts of your body are going to suffer. You can't run for months on an ACL and MCL. You can't squat like you normally can. You can lift upper body, but you can't do the things of your technique and your training. And so then when you're trying to come back from that, sometimes it's not about the injury. It's about the rest of your body, and it's about trusting it up between your ears. And so when you're a hyper competitor and your team needs you and your coach is having conversations with you off on the side, any guy in the NFL is never going to be like, oh, I'm just going to sit and wait. We all want to be on that field. We all are hyper competitive people. And so for him to come back as early as he did is a testament to how hard he worked, but also it shows you how much and how important a full year of being able to come back off an injury like that is actually important. And so I reserve all judgments for Christian Darrisaw till 2026. I think him even coming back and playing at all this year was awesome of him. And I think he would have been well within his bounds to not play until like week 10 of this year and be like, no, I'm not coming back out there until I am 100%. Because if he's looking around going, I want to be like Trent Williams, I want to play till I'm 37. What the hell am I coming out here for a 4-8 football team right now? Like, if this is Super Bowl playoff bound, like anyone can strap it up, brace it up, take the shot and roll. If you're trying to be like, listen, I want to be an all pro in this league and I know I can be for a long time, his main concern right now needs to be his health. And I know Vikings fans don't want to hear that, but that is a business decision you have to make as a player in this league.
And protein.
Protein. Always protein.
Protein. Yeah. Great stuff, dude. Jeremiah Sirles, O-line committee. Are you guys still doing Sad Nebraska podcast now, or are those over?
Yeah, no, we still got the National Signing Day was today, so I get to go break down high school O-line tape, yay, and explain why they're going to be good. I thought
until you ran
transfer portal, baby.
Oh, trust me, I'm
screw recruiting. It's all about the transfer portal.
I'm knee deep in the transfer portal now.
That's where it's at.
Are we? By the way, is Penn State still looking for a coach? Are we?
They fumbled that bag.
Are we safe on the Matt Rule thing for you guys?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He's locked in now.
We extended him. We didn't give him a raise, but we extended him and made his buyout huge. And so I think it was just more of a securing him. But I mean, Penn State, what are we doing, boys? I mean, you fire Franklin without someone just sitting in the wings, and you're just ready to like usher in. I just knocked everything over. Right, you're not ready to just usher everything in, and then you swing and a miss on everyone. I saw a picture today. Their recruiting class right now was with like the Montana Grizzlies, Grambling State, and like other FCS programs are where they're ranking right now. They have 0 early signing day people today.
Wow.
Penn State, I don't know what that happened up there, but I mean, I don't think there's a sexy coach out there right now that they're going to be excited to go and get. And it's a crazy world.
They're calling on PJ Fleck as we speak.
I would not be shocked. I would not be. I kind of called that immediately. I was like, listen, you want to bring a culture guy and all that, but I mean, I don't know how many people in Happy Valley are going to read everybody poops, but hey, everyone can figure it out on their own.
I wouldn't be shocked if they put a phone call in there. We'll see. But all right, Jay, awesome stuff. Jeremiah Sirles, O-line committee. 3 days a week during the season, plus film breakdowns. And you can find that on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. For the Sports Dad Judd, for the Real Dad Dex, I am Phil. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
Don't die
Probably
soon.
not going to happen anytime soon.